Hello everyone, this is Arshia from Math Bubble. In this video, we are going to discuss about the properties of integers. So let's get started. So now let's start off with the properties of integers. Now addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, they all do have properties. Okay, so for easy understanding, let's first discuss about the properties of addition and subtraction in the form of a tabulation, so that is much more easier for us to understand. Okay, so the first property that we are going to discuss will be the closure property. Okay, so it is called the closure property. Now what does this property say? When you add two integers, okay, when we add two integers, say a plus b, the result should be an integer. Okay, so shall we check? So when I take a to be 3 and b to be 5, and when I add them, the result is 8. Is 8 an integer? Yes, it is an integer. Now let us see for negative numbers. Minus 3 plus of minus 8, which is equal to minus 8. Again, minus 8 also comes under integer. So yes, so closure property applies or holds good for addition. Now let's see the same property for subtraction. Now when we subtract two integers, say a minus b, the result should be an integer. So shall we check if the property holds good for subtraction too? Okay, suppose I take a number 5 and 3. So 5 minus 3 is 2. Is 2 an integer? Yes, it is an integer. So another example is minus 5 and minus 6, which is equals to minus 11. Again, a negative number is also an integer. So shall we conclude by saying that closure property holds good for subtraction too? Yes, so closure property holds good for addition as well as subtraction. Next, let's move on to commutative property. So the second property is the commutative property. Okay, so what is commutative property? Okay, in addition, commutative property means when you have two integers, say a and b, in whichever order you add those two integers, your answer should always remain the same. Okay, now a plus b should be equal to b plus a. So in whichever order they are added, the result should be the same. So shall we check if this commutative property holds good in addition? Let's take an example. Say a is equals to 4 and b is equals to minus 3. So my left hand side is going to be a plus b and my right hand side is going to be b plus a. So I just have to check if a plus b is equal to b plus a. So what is a plus b? A is 4 and b is minus 3. So the answer is 1. Now b plus a. What is b plus a? It is minus 3, which is b, plus 4, that is a. So minus 3 plus 4 is equal to 1. So my left hand side is equal to right hand side. So my left hand side is equal to my right hand side. So shall we conclude by saying that this commutative property holds good for addition? Yes. So now let's move on to subtraction. The same commutative property applies here, but here, since it is subtraction, when two integers are subtracted, okay, a minus b should be equal to b minus a. In whichever order they are subtracted, the result should remain the same. Suppose I take an example, let a be equal to 6 and b be equal to 2. Now my left hand side here is going to be A minus B, and my right hand side is going to be B minus A. So what is my A minus B? It is nothing but 6 minus 2, which is equals to 4. Whereas now B minus A should be 2. The value of B is 2 minus the value of A is 6. 2 minus 6 is going to give me minus 4. So is my left hand side equal to right hand side? No. So my LHS is not equal to RHS. So the commutative property does not hold good in subtraction. The third property, it is called the associative property. So let's first see what this associative property states. Okay, so long in commutative property and closure property we had only 2 integers, whereas in associative we are going to have 3 integers. Okay, so let the 3 integers be A, B and C, and since this is addition, I add plus in between the integers. Okay, so now what does this associative property state? When the integers are grouped differently, supposing here I am grouping B plus C, okay, and here on the right hand side I am going to group A plus B. Okay, so when the integers are grouped differently, the value should remain the same. So this is what the associative property states. Once more I repeat, however the integers are grouped, in whichever order they are grouped, the value should remain the same. So first let's check for addition if this property holds good in addition. Okay, so now let's take A to be 2, B to be 3 and C to be 1. Okay, so now what is my LHS over here? My LHS is nothing but A plus B plus C. Okay, so what is my A? 2 plus B plus C, so 3 plus 1. So whatever is in the bracket should be solved first. So 3 plus 1 is 4, so it is nothing but 2 plus 4, which is equals to 6. Now let us check if this value is equal to the value to the right hand side. Okay, so yes, what is my RHS? RHS is nothing but A plus B. The grouping differs. Please note that here B plus C is grouped, and here on the right hand side A plus B is grouped. A plus B plus C. So what is the value of A? It is 2 plus what is the value of B? It is 3. So these two are grouped together and then added with C. So what happens? It becomes 2 plus 3, which is 5, plus 1, which is equals to 6. So is the value of the right hand side equal to the value of the left hand side? Yes. Therefore, since LHS is equal to RHS, I can conclude by saying associative property holds good in addition. So now let's move on to subtraction. Okay, so now again I take 3 integers, say A, B and C. Since it is subtraction, now I put a minus sign in between them. And similar as we did in addition, first I am going to group B and C together and check if it is equal to A minus B minus C, where A and B is grouped together. So shall we check this with an example? Yes. Again, let's take A to be 2, B to be 3 and C to be 1. So my left hand side is going to be A minus B minus C, which is nothing but 2 minus 3 minus 1. The value of A is 2, the value of B is 3 and the value of C is 1. So this is nothing but 2 minus, what is 3 minus 1? So whatever is in the bracket should be solved first, right? So 3 minus 1 is 2. So the value of my left hand side is 0. 2 minus 2 is 0. Now let's check the value of the right hand side. So what is the value on the right hand side? It is nothing but A minus B minus of c. So this is nothing but 2 minus 3 in brackets minus 1. So what is 2 minus 3? It is nothing but minus 1, and I write minus of 1. Now what is minus 1 minus 1? It is equal to minus 2. So do my LHS and my RHS match? No, my LHS is 0 and my RHS is minus 2. Therefore my LHS is not equal to RHS. So therefore the associative property does not hold good in subtraction. That is, however the grouping changes and when they are subtracted, their values are not the same all the time. The next property that we are going to discuss is the identity property. So first let's see what is the identity property in addition. So when you take an integer and add a 0 to it, your answer should be the integer itself. Okay, the answer should be an integer itself. Or when you add an integer to 0, okay, your answer should be the integer itself. So there should be no change. So this is what the identity property means. Okay, so now let's check if this identity property holds good in addition. Okay, let the integer be 2. Okay, suppose if my integer is 2, what is 2 plus 0? It is 2. So my integer does not change. Okay, the answer is just the integer itself. Okay, now vice versa, 0 plus 2 is also equal to 2. So wherever the 0 is, when you add a 0 to the integer, the result is the integer itself. Now let's see if the same property holds good for subtraction. Now here, since it is subtraction, integer minus 0 should give you the integer itself, or 0 minus the integer should give you the integer itself. Yes? So now shall we check this with an example? Okay, let the integer be, now let the integer be 4. Okay, so now first let's check if 4 minus 0 is the integer itself. Is 4 minus 0 equal to 4? Yes, it is the integer itself. Whereas now if we check 0 minus 4, so what is 0 minus 4? It is not 4, it is going to be minus 4. So 0 minus the integer is going to change the value of the integer itself. Okay, so with this we can conclude that identity property holds good for addition, whereas the identity property does not hold good for subtraction. And also one more point that we have to note here is the identity element for addition and subtraction is 0. So this is one of the most important point that should be noted. The next property that we are going to see is property of inverse. So in addition, what is the property of inverse? Now suppose we take an integer a, and when we add it with the inverse of it, so what is the inverse of a? It is plus a. So the inverse of a is nothing but minus a. Inverse means the sign changes. So when we take an integer a and add it with its inverse, it should give me 0. So how does this expression change? A plus of minus a is nothing but a minus a, which is equals to 0. Yes, so this is called the property of inverse. So shall we check this with an example? Okay, example, a is equals to 5. So when I take 5 and when I add it with its inverse, that is minus 5, it becomes 5 minus 5 is equals to 0, right? So inverse property applies for addition. Now shall we see what happens in subtraction? In subtraction, when I take an integer a and when I subtract it with its inverse, does it give me 0? Will it give me 0? No. See, it becomes a, which is nothing but a minus into minus is plus a. So a plus a is 2a and this is not equal to 0. So property of inverse does not hold good in subtraction. Next, we are going to see the properties of multiplication of integers. Okay, just as in addition and subtraction, the first three properties are going to remain unchanged. So the first property is going to be the closure property, second commutative, and the third is associative. So first, let's see what is closure property. In multiplication, closure property is nothing but when two integers are multiplied, okay, the result should be an integer. So suppose I take two integers, say minus 5 and 2, and when I multiply it I get minus 10, which is an integer. Yes, so it is an integer. Therefore, I can say that closure property holds good in the multiplication of integers. The second property is commutative property. So here, when I have two integers a and b, and when they are multiplied with each other should be equal to, so a into b should be equal to b into a. So however the integers are multiplied, in whichever order they are multiplied, the answer should remain the same. So now let's take a to be 2 and b to be 3. So 2 into 3 should be equal to 3 into 2. So 2 into 3, 6, which is equals to 3 into 2, which is 6. So both the left hand side and the right hand side has the same value. So I can say that commutative property holds good in the multiplication of integers. Now moving on to the next property, associative property. So associative property is nothing but grouping of the integers. Okay. So here this property states that a into b into c should be equal to a into b into c. So now let's take a to be 2 into b to be 3 and c to be 1. Now this should be equal to a into b into c, which is 1. Okay, so the value of a is 2, the value of b is 3 and the value of c is 1. So now whatever is in the bracket should be solved first. So 2 into 3 is equal to here 6 into 1. So 2 3s are 6, which is equal to 6. Now again the values on both my left hand side and the right hand side is the same. So I can say that associative property also holds good in the multiplication of integers. Now the next property in multiplication of integers is nothing but multiplicative identity. So here in addition and subtraction the identity element was 0, whereas in multiplication and division the identity element is going to be 1. So we have to keep this in mind. So what does this multiplicative identity property state? When I take an integer a and when I multiply it with the identity that is 1, it should give me the integer itself. Yes, so take an integer, say 2 into 1 will give me 2. That is the integer itself. Suppose I take the integer to be minus 5 into 1 will give me minus 5 itself. So similarly 2 into 1 or 1 into 2 is going to give me 2 only. Again 5 into 1 or 1 into minus 5 is going to give me minus 5 only. So we can say that multiplicative identity element exists. The next property is multiplicative inverse. That means when I have an integer and when I multiply it with its inverse, that is a into, since this is multiplication, the inverse of a will be 1 by a. whereas in addition the inverse of a was minus a because it was addition. So the inverse of addition is subtraction and inverse of multiplication is division. So that is why we have taken a, and when it is multiplied with its inverse, that is 1 by a, it should give me the identity element 1. Okay, so shall we check? 2 into its inverse is 1 by 2. When I multiply 2 with its inverse, 2 gets cancelled and I get 1. So yes, multiplicative inverse exists. So now what is next property? Zero property. When I take an integer and multiply it with 0, it should give me 0 itself. Okay, so any integer, say minus 2 into 0 is nothing but 0, right? So any integer, when it is multiplied with 0, it gives 0. Okay, so this is the zero property in the multiplication of integers. The next property that we are going to see is the distributive property. So it applies to both addition and subtraction. Okay, so first let's see the distributive property of addition. So what does it state? The statement is a into b plus c. So since this is addition, it is b plus c. Now what does this happen? This multiplication is distributed inside the bracket. So this becomes a into b, that is this a is multiplied with b, plus we write this addition symbol as it is plus a into c. So this a is multiplied, that is distributed inside the bracket. So that is what is called distributive property of addition. So a into b plus c is nothing but a into b plus a into c. Now in subtraction, what does it happen? Similarly, a into b minus c. Since this is subtraction, it is b minus c. So now what has happened? It becomes a into b minus a into c. So for now, let's just understand what it states. Okay, later when we work out the exercises, we will apply these properties so that it is more clear for us. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about the properties of division of integers. So again, the first three properties remain as it is. Okay, so the first property is nothing but the closure property. Okay, so the first property is the closure property. Just as in any other thing, what does this closure property state in division? So when you take two integers and when you divide them, your answer should be, your result should be an integer. Okay, so suppose I take 5 and 2. When I divide 5 and 2, 5 is an integer, 2 is an integer. Okay, when I divide 5 and 2, the result is 5 by 2. Now we have already studied that fractional numbers, rational numbers and decimal numbers do not come under integers. So this 5 by 2 is in the form of fraction, so it comes under rational numbers. So 5 by 2 is not an integer. So closure property does not hold good in division of integers. So let's see the next property, which is commutative property. Commutative property. So we all know that commutative property means in division, when you have two integers, say a and b, a by b should be equal to b by a. This is the commutative property in division. Now let's assign values for a and b. So let a be equal to 2 and b be equal to 3. So this becomes a by b is nothing but 2 by 3. Okay, and b by a is nothing but 3 by 2. Are they both equal? No, they are not equal. So we can say that commutative property also does not hold good in division of integers. The next property that we are going to see under division of integers is the associative property. So here associative property again involves three integers. Okay, so it involves a, b and C. And one more thing that we remember is in associative property, we group the integers, right? So since it is division, A divided by B divided by C. So here on my left hand side, I group B and C. Now this should be equal to A divided by B. Now the grouping is changed, divided by C. Okay, so now shall we see if associative property holds good in division? Okay, now let's take an example. A is 20, B is 40, C is 2. Okay, so my left hand side is nothing but A divided by B divided by C. So when I substitute the values of A, B, C respectively, I get 20 divided by B is 40 divided by 2. So what is in the bracket should be solved first. So what is 40 divided by 2? It is nothing but 20 divided by 40 divided by 2 is 20. So 20 divided by 20 is 1. Now let's check the RHS. RHS, we have A divided by B divided by C. So now what are my values? A is 20 divided by 40 in brackets, this divided by 2. So what is in the bracket should be solved first. Okay, so here 20 divided by 40 divided by 2, which is equals to 1 by 2 divided by 2, which is equal to 1 by 2 into 1 by 2, which is equals to 1 by 4. Yes, so now my LHS and my RHS do not match. So my LHS is not equal to RHS. Therefore, the associative property does not hold good in the division of integers. Zero property. So what does the zero property say? The zero property states that when 0 divided by any integer, okay, let's take the integer to be A. When 0 is divided by any integer, the result is always a 0. Okay, so 0 divided by any non-zero number, okay, any non-zero number will always give me 0. So this is called the zero property in division of integers. The next property is the identity property. Identity property. So now, what is identity property? So before we understand what is identity property, we should first know what is the identity element in division. The identity element in division is 1. So now identity property is nothing but when a integer is divided by 1 or when 1 is divided by the integer, it should give you the integer itself. So shall we check if it holds good for division of integers? Okay, now let's take A to be 2. Okay, so if A is 2, A divided by 1 is nothing but 2 divided by 1, which is equals to 2. So here it gives the integer itself. Now 1 by A, let's substitute in 1 by A and see. So 1 by A is nothing but 1 by 2. So is this equal to the integer itself? No, it is not equal to the integer itself. So we can say that identity property does not hold good in the division of integers. The last property in the division of integers is nothing but division of an integer by itself. That means when I have an integer A, and when I divide by a, that is, it is divided by itself. So when I take an integer a and divide it by a, the answer should always be equal to 1. Okay, so now suppose I have a to be 2. So 2 by 2 is all 1. Minus 5. So minus 5 when it is divided by itself, okay, which is minus 5, is equal to 1. With this, we come to the end of the video on properties of integers. So in the upcoming videos, we will see sums based on BODMAS and other exercise problems. So if you have enjoyed our video, please do like and subscribe, and also please share our links to your friends.